And welcome back. This is your man Warrior for an update. Jesse did a new update on the forums. If you go to the forums and check this out, you can get this information for yourself. But I know a lot of people super busy, can't go around everywhere and check all the information out, and kind of like to be spoon-fed this info directly via YouTube video. I'll try to make it as quick as possible, as it's just a simple update. It does say, greetings. Next week, we'll be increasing the level cap to 85. The last level cap increase was on March 31st, and a number of players have been at level 80 since April. This has given players 6 months from March to now to have reached the cap of level 80, geared up their characters and expanded their rosters, which they're saying basically is more than enough time, unless of course you've come in and started sometime in the last 6 months. With this level cap increase, characters will now be able to reach new abilities and new gear tiers. So those available slots for gear are going to open up for new gear, so that's pretty exciting. But wait, where does one attain these new gear pieces? Well, I'm glad you asked. Players will be able to obtain brand new gear from the new Tank Takedown raid. So like the Rancor raid gives you raid gear, the Tank Takedown raid is going to give you raid gear as well. They're going to be proprietary raid gear for each raid, so you're going to be able to do whichever raid, you're going to be able to do the raids, get the gear you need, and then be able to gear up your characters uniquely based off of the 2 different raids. So that's pretty cool. The cap level, let's just stop for a second. The cap level increase, not a horrible thing. Obviously, if anybody's at level 80 and they've gotten some of their characters to level 80, there's that collective when you finally get there and get your characters maxed out, because you're done. You can start focusing on some of the secondary or subsequent characters that aren't quite as important, but you do want to start farming up. And all of a sudden you hear about a cap level increase, and now every single troop you have has got to get maxed out. And you know that the gold to get your character from level 1 to level 80 is 4.6 million credits, and half of those credits, like 2.3 million of those credits, come from 70 to 80. So there is a very good chance that to get from 80 to 85, it's going to cost another 2 to 6 million credits per character. Obviously, until it drops, we're not going to know 100%. The other thing is there's a ton of people out there saying, are they going to give us credit for all of the experience points we didn't earn since we've been maxed out at level 80? So you're at level 80, you do a ton of stuff every day, and you're getting no experience points because you're level 80. And the answer is, unfortunately, no. You're not going to get any credit for anything you've done up to this point if you were maxed out at level 80. Now, if you have not hit level 80, you have been earning your experience points each and every day, so this does not affect you. But for anybody who's been at 80 for any period of time, this is not retroactive, okay? So they mentioned this Tank Takedown raid, and so he has conversation dialogue Jesse does with himself. It's pretty funny. It says, but wait, wasn't the Takedown raid announced back in July? Why did it take so long to release it? Well, the raid was delayed to continue the QA testing, polish the art, and much more. So that's pretty cool. They want to make sure that when it comes out, it's not broken. They want to make sure that it works and works efficiently. So that's really, really cool. I would rather them delay it than have it come out and work with major issues, such as the last PvP tournament with the refreshes going off improperly or not happening. And other places like in Asia servers and European servers, they were getting extra refreshes. Just absolute craziness. You definitely want to make sure the stuff is beta tested before it hits the market. So I'm glad that they're keeping this kind of under wraps until they know that it's going to work great. But the biggest reason why, and I love this, is to allow guilds to launch both the pit and the Tank Takedown raid simultaneously, which means you're going to be able to do not 1 but 2 raids at the same time. And what's really, really cool is they're going to each earn their own currency, which you can use their currency to purchase the things that you need to purchase for. But now you got 2 of them, so you'll have 2 guild currency sections to earn from. That's pretty awesome. I think this is absolutely cool that you're going to be able to do both of the raids, because I can tell you there was a lot of discussion on our team that we're going to bust out as many raids as we can before the new raid comes out, and we're hustling to get everybody the Han Solo to 7 stars. And the reason is we had a feeling we were going to lose out once the new raid came out. We'd have to give it up and we'd have to go to the new raid, or we'd have to choose to do one or the other. And that was a big fear, that it's going to divide a lot of the teams up, and that is not going to happen. They're going to allow us to do this simultaneously, so that is pretty cool. Love it. It says previously, this was when it was going to be launched, it wasn't going to be possible to launch them both at the same time, so that way they have decided to delay it so they can get it to work that way. Guilds will used to have to choose between the 2 raids, but the dev team felt like that would cause division in the members of each of the teams. So now there's no need to choose one another. You can launch both of these raids at the same time. They are completely separate with attempts and character refreshes. So if you're, bashing your characters in one, it's not going to affect your ability to use those same characters in that other raid on the other side. So it says, so the new gear is great, but is there a character to obtain in the new raid? It says there is indeed a new character for the player to obtain, a fan favorite that is obtainable only by defeating the heroic difficulty of the tank takedown raid. They have not released which character it is, but I would put money, I'm not a gambling man, but if I was, I'd put money on it that it's R2-D2. They did mention R2-D2 some time back. They've made video of him. They've had pictures of him, as well as put him in the files of the game. They are in the computer. So I am very confident that it's going to be R2-D2, which will be the character that you can get and obtain through the new raid. So that is pretty cool. But again, that is my guess. And it says, is there anything else that we should know about this level cap increase or the new raid? Guilds will have both types of the new currency maxed when the raid goes live. And the raid's going to go live relatively soon. So their suggestion is that you spend as much of your currency as you can instead of holding onto it. Because when they launch it, they're going to max all your currency out, and if your currency's at 20K, they're going to give you another 130K and max yours out. If you've got it at 140, you're only going to get 10,000 in your. And what I'm talking about is the team. So if you're a leader in a team, you know what I'm talking about. If you're not, don't worry about it. Players will be able to earn rewards from the pit and the takedown raid individually. So, each one at the same time, which is pretty cool. And characters used in one raid are not going to be limit them from being used in the others. Now, people always want to know when this is happening. Obviously, they are suggesting that this is happening in October right here, because it says the plan to release the new raid later in October, shortly after the level cap increase. So there's going to be a couple of updates. One of them is going to be a level cap increase, and then shortly after that will be the raid later in October. So my guess is that cap level increase will be coming sometime in the next week. And then the raid will probably come approximately 2 weeks after that. They are normally have their hands full a week or two after an update, trying to make sure that the patching works and everything is in-game working efficiently. So my guess is sometime in the next week, probably over the next couple days, you'll see the cap level increase. Now, if you're wondering how long it's going to take you, if you are level 80, to get from level 80 to 85, I would put 21 to 28 days as your estimation of time. So it's going to take 3 to 4 weeks to get there, depending upon how many refreshes you purchase per day. Now, if you are a super whale and you spend a ton of money, you can probably do the cap level increase in a couple of weeks. There's only so much you can do with the energy and buying it. And when it gets to like 900 energy refreshes, you'd have to be a very dedicated whale to want to spend that kind of money on a single refresh. So I'm guessing 3 to 4 weeks before you see some level 85 characters. But this is exciting because it's going to bring a new dimension to the game. It's going to make characters that are maybe needing a rebalance and an additional strength to be able to be rebalanced. As you see, they can start adding new raid gear slots, and if a character needs more strength or more agility or whatnot, they can now add those raid gear parts to those characters, which are going to make them stronger. So this is a great way, a phenomenal way for them to create a natural, harmonious rebalance in the entire game, and hopefully make some of the turds in the game, some of the turds like Mob Enforcer, maybe she'll get some additional raid gear parts to make her AoE actually do some damage. That would be pretty cool. So anyway, if you like all the videos, like them, subscribe. As always, have a wonderful afternoon. Keep your gaming on.